Hi folks, so in this video what we're going to be doing is we're going to be completing the question here based on the topic of circles, and specifically this question here based on the Dublin coach logo, okay, which is made up of a series of concentric circles, okay. We've got a circle in the middle starting off radius 14, another circle outside are sharing the same center point which is concentric, radius 32, and then we have a certain distance away from there. It's 160 millimeters left and right, so 80 to the right, 80 to the left, and then we're going to have to find the center points to do this circle here, and then another circle radius 50, okay, and we're looking at the measurements 160 and 30 in. So we're going to use all that information to complete this little Dublin coach logo here. So that's what we're going to do now. So the question here on the left hand side, I'm going to start drawing it over here in the space here. So starting off, first of all, what I actually want is my axis, which what I mean by that is my center line running across the middle, and I want a vertical center line running through the middle. So to start off with that, I'm going to start my axis here, okay, just going to draw a line there like that, and that line there I want it to be 160 millimeters in length, okay, so 16 centimeters in length. So from 0 as far as the 16, so there's my 0. I'm going to mark 16, and I'm also going to mark the middle 8. So I've got my horizontal line. Now I want to get my vertical line. So using t square and set square, I'm now going to do a vertical line as well. Okay, now having done that, using my compass, okay, we're going to start off in the middle, and we're going to measure a distance of, I do a circle radius 14, and then another circle radius 32. So the way I like to do it on my sheet is I actually measure it on my sheet. So from the center there, I'm going to mark out as far as 14, and then I'm also going to mark out as far as 32. Okay, so using my compass, put it on the center point, down to the 14 mark. And the small ones are a little bit tricky to draw sometimes. Just take your time with it. Okay, so we've done that one. Now we're going to do another circle. Radius 32. So I've drawn my two circles there now. Now the next thing I have to do is I have to identify the center points for the other circles, which are on the sheet, which are a radius of 22, and it's actually a semicircle, and a radius of 50, which is another semicircle. So from the center, because you can see that this 50 one is touching the center point, I could measure out 50, or it actually tells us down here at the very, very bottom that from the end of either end of the 160 line, I could measure in 30 millimeters from here into here, and alternatively on the same side there into there. So from the center, I could measure back, okay, but I'm actually just sorry, I could measure back to 50, but I'm going to measure from the end, from 0 as far as the tree. That there is my center point, right there. I'm going to do the exact same to the opposite side, measuring 3 centimeters out, 3 to 0. Okay, I've now found two other center points. And once I found those two center points, once again, I'm going to do a vertical axis going upwards. Okay, using my compass once again, I'm going to measure the radius 22, and the radius 50 is technically already done for me. So from here, from the center point, I'm going to measure in as far as 22. And from the center point here, I'm going to measure 22 in as well. Okay, so I'm going to start off by doing two semicircles, one going this way and one going the other way, of 22 radius. So, putting it ever so lightly. I'm going to use markers to highlight the detail. So I'm just going to put in a semicircle. Then I'm going to go to the other center point. This is where people will often make a silly mistake. Just identify the correct one as the center point. There's 22 there. Okay, now that I've done the two 22s, I'm going to now put in the two circles, or two semicircles radius 50. So using the same center points I've just used, I'm going to bring it into the center, because that distance from there to there is 50. I'm going to do, so there's one. I'm going to go to the opposite side, same center point as I used previously. There's our 50 there on that side. Now it's simply a case of completing the question, where I'm essentially going to add on these little bits here at the top. If you think of it, it kind of looks like a magnet. So I'm going to extend this one out, this point, where it's hitting, the semicircle is hitting the vertical axis, and do that on all sides. 1, and 4. And to complete it then, it's simply a case of at either end the 160 line, I want to do a line up like this, using this guy as a guide, and the exact same on the opposite side, here and here. And now it's simply a case of just heavying in the detail. So I'm going to start off by actually heavying in my horizontal lines. Nice big marker just to make it stand out a little bit more on the screen. There. Okay, now putting in my vertical lines. So there's that bit done. Now, just going to switch out my compass attachment here. Apologies there, this will just take 2 seconds, guys. Hopefully this will allow me a big marker here. Might not do so for that one. I'll use a different one for the small one, for small circles. Okay, for the little circle in the middle, I have to heavy this in. So using the center point. So there's the one in the center. Now I'm going to switch it out to, just take it here now, go to this one, and up to the radius 22. I'm going to stop it where it intersects with that circle. The same on this side. Over to the opposite side. It should be the exact same. Okay. Hopefully if I can just switch out over this guy here. Correctly hold in place. Just about. Now I'm going into the 50 one. The 50 guy starts out here. So there's that one. It'll be the exact same at the bottom. And I'll go over to the opposite side. Okay, and then into the middle, maybe in just the correct details. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and there you have it, guys. There it is. That is the Dublin coach logo completed. I just use markers at the very end just to kind of make it come up a little bit brighter on the screen, okay? Because sometimes with a compass, depending on the lead that you have, it can be very hard to heavy in the important details to actually kind of, I suppose, complete the logo. Okay, that's that question done there, guys. I hope you found that helpful.